Hey, how are you? I am so glad to be back here at Global Hack Week, this AI machine learning week. Hi, my name is Alberto. I'm Alberto from the MLH. I'm currently based on Mexico, I'm from here, born here, and everything. As always, I would like to start just making sure that everyone can hear me. Is my internet connection working properly tonight? Well, tonight for some of you. For me, it's noon. Well, yeah, it's already 1 p.m., so I think it counts. I don't know. But it has been, for example, here, is his video working? I'm not sure. Let me restart my camera just to make sure. If anyone else can confirm if uh, another Mexican. Well, cool. I see at least three Mexicans here, including me. So really nice. Um, okay, I think my video is not working properly, but at least I think you can hear me well. So let me restart my camera. I tried just stopping it, and okay, it's okay now. Yeah, it always worked. It just has to stop and then start again. And actually, I think that's kind of my fault because the thing I was preparing for this stream, it's actually using the camera. So I probably misconfigured that. But yeah, so let me read some comments here before we start that help us make some time for more people to join us. And in the meantime, please help me going to this link and checking in. It's events.mlh.io. No, sorry. Events.mlh.io slash events slash 11007, right? Please. Hello, hi, good evening from here. It's MLH Hack Week headline sponsored by anyone. No, it's not sponsored by anyone, but we're going to use Tensorflow.js. If you mean that, like, if TensorFlow is sponsoring us, the answer is no. But hey, if anyone from the TensorFlow team is here on this stream, we would like to collaborate. Uh, but no, actually, I like the tool. And since we are on web, well, I'm a web developer, I'm a JavaScript fan. This is the most powerful tool, I think, for doing that, for doing artificial intelligence slash machine learning. So that's why this stream it's called your first machine learning model in TensorFlow. Yes. Where are you located in this world? Asking to hi.dev. Hello, Nigeria and you. And Mac G7 says on Mexico. Well, I'm from Mexico too. So, which part are you from, Mac? I'm from Mexico City. I'm IPN, Instituto Politécnico Nacional student. So, what about you? I think he's frozen. Yeah, my camera was not working right. Another Mexican here, Ron Axel, with the X in your name. You kind of spoiled that. Not from this end. I think the computer is frozen. Yeah, we fixed that. Back again. I'm from Canada, but Viva Mexico. Thanks. I would like to visit Canada sometime. I have some friends there. Um, Shout out to Jacqueline, where wherever she is. She's coming to visit Mexico in April. I'm too excited for that. But yeah, I would like to visit Canada at some time. Not working low. Hey, I think your camera freeze went away from window. Like, oh, okay, I get it. But no, I'm not away from the window. I'm here. I'm not moving the stream. But again, it doesn't matter if you can see me. The thing that matters is that you can hear me, right? You don't miss anything except for my beautiful Major League hacking jacket. It will work for a bit and then frozen again. Oh, it's terrible. Um, Let me see if I stop it and turn it on again sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it works. Yeah, it might be due to my internet connection, not the camera itself, right? But again, if you hear me, everything's good. Uh, don't jinx it, don't announce it again when it starts working. Okay, Romania here. That's amazing. What time is it for you? That will be pretty late, I think. I would love to live in Canada, such a beautiful place. It's a problem since this is the way it will be recorded. Do we code anything today? Yeah, we are going to code, but it is not about the camera itself. When I start sharing my screen, that will be a problem. But for my face, it's not a problem. It's 9. Okay, it's not too late. It's 9 p.m. for you. So let's talk about the name of this stream, right? The your first model in Tensorflow.js, and I would like to start by asking you if TensorFlow sounds familiar to you. Like, have you heard of it? Have you tried it? Are you pros writing code on TensorFlow? Actually, you're coding Python, in this case, JavaScript, but TensorFlow, I would say it's the framework that help us translating that code into machine learning models, right? So I would like to know your experiences. Are you new to this? You have tried before, and you like to get deeper in the use of TensorFlow, or yeah, what's the actual status of your learning process? Let's say. Um, So share it to me. But yeah, what we are going to do during this stream is we are going to get familiar with the TensorFlow um, tool. I tried TensorFlow before, and I had given a stream of TensorFlow before. This will be my second time talking about this amazing tool. And in this stream, we're going to build an image predictor. Like we're going to get a model, a pre-trained model, and then train it again, but with another data set. In this case, we're going to use images, the camera one. That's what I was talking about, that we are going to use the camera. I connect my cell phone to my laptop, so we don't get interference between the camera of the laptop and the stream output, right? And we are going to retrain again that model using these images and get predictions on which photo or which image are we seeing. And for that, I'm Bona, it's joining us. So we are going to put pictures of my face, then put pictures of Mona face, and see if we can get the information and the accuracy of what image the model is seeing. If we can get 100% accuracy of I'm seeing Alberto or I'm seeing Mona, and that will be the project that we're going to develop today, right? But first, again, let's see a lot of TensorFlow and its environment, more examples of existing models, and well, a big repo that contains amazing examples that we can take advantage of in the future and maybe implement them during our next hackathons, right? So I see here for philosophy, familiar with that, but I've never used it. Okay, this will be your first time. That will be amazing. Try once, but never finish the project. Why is that? Like, I mean, I get it. It's complicated, and to be honest, it is not beginner friendly at it might seem. Um, that's why a little spoiler. We are going to use another library. So the first layer will be TensorFlow for sure, but in addition to that, we are going to use another library that's called ML5. And ML5, it's built on top of TensorFlow, but it makes things a little bit easier, especially when you come from web developer as me, because it's kind of coding more similar than um, using tensors and stuff like that. You just get the ML5 object, and you use methods to make predictions, to train, to do that kind of stuff. So you are going to finish this project, don't worry. Plus, we're going to use an ML5 library example. So that will be it. Heard of it, but don't know what it is used. No, sorry, heard of it, but don't know what it is or used it. Okay, so that both questions will be answered today. Heard of it, but never used it. Excited to try it. Have coding, yes, but have not used TensorFlow. Okay, that's enough. Um, it's a framework for Python to build neural networks. Yeah, I mean, it's primarily focused on Python's, the TensorFlow library, but they released the .js version, which we're going to use, and we code in JavaScript. It works with tensors that add multidimensional arrays, so calculations are more optimized in it. Yeah, that's very accurate. Thank you. It's a tensor similar to a vector then. Okay, let's resolve that right now. We have vector that will be, for example, an array, right? So you have a point, let's say one. Then you have a vector when you have an array of ones. So one, two, three, or one, comma, one, comma, one, comma, one. Then you have the, what's the word for this? When you have vector, oh, matrix, yeah, that was the word. So you have a matrix when you have 2D dimensional array, right? So one dimensional, it's the vector. Two dimensional, it's the matrix, because you may have two times three or three times three. Um, that's a matrix. Everything above than that, 4D, 5D, and every combination, it's a tensor. That's the easy way to understand it. The stream, it's really unstable. Oh, hi, the stream, it's stream freezing, cannot see any content. Yeah, the stream is unstable. Okay, don't worry about not seeing anything. Again, I am not showing anything yet, and we are going to give time for that. Just focus on hearing what I'm saying, right? And I was just explaining what a tensor is. Remember, you have one dimensional, the vector, two dimensional, the matrix, and more than that, it's the tensors. Three dimensional, four dimensional, five dimensional, etc. We have no graphic way to represent it because we live in a three dimensional world. But yeah, that will be tensors. And I'm sorry about the quality of the video and the stream, but this says my internet is working properly at the moment, so I don't know what can I do. Uh, Actually, I don't get messages from StreamYard like you have poor connection or something. So let's start now presenting, right? And for this, Let's go to our browser and search for Tensorflow.js. Oh, I missed a W. And well, we can open the JS part, but I think I'm going a step back and deleting the .js. Let's start with TensorFlow overall, right? So what can we get from TensorFlow? Let me share this page with you. And mine is on Spanish because, it's the default language I have. But here's the page, and here I present. Well, let me this way. So what we are seeing, the landing page of TensorFlow, and here we have um, phrase that says to us, create machine learning models at a productive or a production level using TensorFlow. We can explore automated learning using different kinds of abilities, like from beginners to research and production levels. And we have a discover TensorFlow page and explore the ecosystem. Well, what's the name? Mac G27 helped us to clarify that this is a library or a framework focused for Python, but they have released another kind of versions. Here, for example, the indie web that is for TensorFlow.js, that a mobile part that it's TensorFlow Lite, and a one for servers that it's the TFX, right? So implement anywhere. We are going to use the web one, which is TensorFlow. Yes, let's open this, but in another tab. But let's continue exploring, right? So we have a lot of information, but I want you to take a look to this part. Don't know where to start. Well, they have a learn about um, machine learning or autonomous learning, sorry, part that I want you to take a look in deep, because in this stream, this stream is 2 hours maximum, right? And let's be honest, we're not going to be masters in machine learning, artificial intelligence, and to speak the truth, in anything, just seeing a 2 hour workshop, right? So this section it's particularly amazing, and I really like it when I starting to exploring it, because they have a lot of resources and very good ones, to be honest, to start learning about artificial intelligence. And the thing we might be more afraid of, the mathematical part, the theoretical aspects of artificial intelligence, what tensors are like, how to operate with them, why are they even important, right? Because at this point, we talk about these tools that are powerful enough to just make abstractions of this and use API calls. And that's it. That's everything we need to use them, but not to create them. And that's a huge difference. So if you want to be machine learning developer or work with artificial intelligence in deep and create your own models, well, you have to have strong knowledge of what you're doing. Uh, Good news, at the moment we can create powerful and amazing applications just doing these API calls I was talking to, right? Just understanding the surface of it, and so start implementing, right? Implementation. That's the key. That's the big word here. We need to understand in depth to develop, to create our own, but to implement, we can do it fast and easy with the help of TensorFlow and other libraries. But here we can find, as I was saying, lots of resources, lots of books, lots of courses, lots of repos, lots of blogs, etc. For example, this one, A Friendly Introduction to Linear Algebra. This is free completely. This is a course on how to program. It's specialized on mathematical machine learning functions, courses of deep learning, lot of things to help mathematical problems, resources about TensorFlow specifically, talking about this framework library. They have courses and everything. So please take a look to this resource section. Um, yeah, as I was saying, this is very important, and I really encourage you to start learning more in depth about not only how to implement, but how this model works, what they do, what is a neural network, why deep learning works, why the autonomous learning even exists, right? What is key means, what is the other algorithms that make these applications that make GPT possible, what is not only GPT, but what is long language model, LLMs. For example, yesterday, the other Mexican coach, David, was talking about how to make sentiment analysis on text based on LLM models. So really cool. Let me see if we have any comments. Does this session's recorded? Yeah, you can watch the full recorded on Twitch or YouTube after the session is done. Um, cool projects from the playlist that they share in chat. Huh. Oh, sorry, my fault. Is it just me or did the stream crashes? No, I think it does crash. And I'm sorry, I don't know why. I think the connection is not that stable. But if you want me to return to any specific part or talk about anything again, please let me know. So TensorFlow GS is used with Python or it's separated? It's separated. It is specifically for JavaScript, but we can use the Python models in TensorFlow. Yes, but we're going to get that. Okay, we are over the resources, and that's everything I needed to talk about TensorFlow. Let's pause to TensorFlow, yes, because that was a really good question. What's the difference between TensorFlow and TensorFlow JS? TensorFlow is the library for autonomous learning, specifically in JavaScript. And we can do three main things here. Execute existing models. They have existing models for TensorFlow JS, I mean, developed in JavaScript, and they are the ones in Python and in Keras and in other in other ways to develop for machine learning. But the good news here is that we can import those existing models to TensorFlow.js. They have a huge docs on that, like how to do it. And the main idea here is that these files, um, okay, I think it didn't open, but here, the main idea here is that all these models are based on a format that it's H5, and we can import them using this library and we can use this model in JavaScript. Yeah, that's the main idea here and the good news for us. What else we can do? We can train these existing models and give our own data. So we can take an example model from the Tensorflow.js library, which is really great. Again, they have a lot of models for vision, uh, for example, semantic segmentation, right? For face recognition, pose detection, segmentation of the body, posture of the hands, text like toxicity detection, text prediction. Here, this is amazing. I'm going to open this one and open the demo because I really love this, and it's based on BERT or bidirectional encoder representation for transformers. But BERT is a really nice name for that. And this model takes context of a text, and you can ask it questions about it. So let's open, for example, the they have a live example of this. Oh, I cannot find the link. This is a, well, again, as I was saying, this is a pre-trained model to answer questions based on context, but I cannot find the link. Maybe on demo page? No. Well, I was playing at some point. Oh yeah, hit the demo app. Try demo here. I was missing this. So, for example, we can give the context of this text, like Nikola Tesla. It was blah blah blah, born on born and raised on the Austria Empire, studied engineer and physics, and we can ask, hey, where does Nikola Tesla was born? And it was Austria Empire with a score of 12 points. The Austrian Empire, in the Austrian Empire, Austrian Empire. So we can agree. The answer is Austrian Empire. Amazing, right? So let's see. After Tesla examination was series of invention, blah blah blah. Uh, what is an invention of Nikola Tesla? The AC, the alternate current electricity supply, amazing, right? Or the motor alternating current, yeah, almost the same. So that could be it. Yeah, this is really cool. We can pass whatever context we want and ask questions about it. So if you want to implement this, they have a repo of full all the models that you can use in TensorFlow.js. The repo for that it's TFJS, TensorFlow.js slash dash models, right? Um, so you can come here and take a look to all the models they have, and well, a demo section for that. So we can go back and see not only the demo functioning, but the code of it. So this is amazing. And as you see, it's only 51 lines of code, and that's including the 16 first of the license. But really, really amazing how we can implement uh, machine learning models and how easily and fast it is. So let me see here if for my comments. Uh, it is used with JavaScript. Yeah, thanks. Sweden Dev 73. Does the session record? I will answer that. So that we don't need building backend machine learning server. Yeah, exactly. It depends specifically for your use case. Um, but we are going to talk about more about that training. Will you send us the code? Yeah, for sure. I can actually share this repo, which is this one, github.com/tensorflow/tensorflow.js models. And this is the list of the curated models, as I was saying. Uh, so we can find more in here in this page. And this repo contains the model and a demo for that model, right? But as I was saying, the good news is that we can convert any Python model in TensorFlow and Keras to a TensorFlow.js model. And if that's not enough for itself, the other good news is that we can train these pre-trained models again into whatever data we want to pass them. So they have a section on that here that what is, let me switch to English because I I force myself to translate. What is transfer learning? Well, you may know, and if you don't know, let me tell you. Train a model takes awful time and an insane amount of data to make a good model, right? So, for example, there's a model um, called mobile. What was the name of this? Let me see. Uh, mobile postnet. Yeah, I think it was postnet, something like that. That we were going to use for the ML5 application. But this was trained with thousands of images, right? So what we are going to do is take this model and to practical ways, think of it as it was a neural network. So we have first layer, second layer, third layer, then lots of layers more, and then we have n n layers. Well, we are taking the n layer and the minus one layer and the n minus two layer and maybe other layers, but from the last part and take it apart and train it again using a not that big data set. And we can then take advantage of the millions of data points before of them to train the whole model just with one layer. And this will be it. Again, the example of a picture of me and a picture of Mona, which is the AutoCAD. And start predicting and see how many accuracy we can have on this model, right? But first, I downloaded this repo. I just shared it and I start experimenting and playing with this model. Let's take a look at it because this one I shared is one living in internet, and you may think, okay, but I want to take a look in my own machine and let's see if I can run this, right? So let me go back and okay, close this and close this. We're not using this anymore. And all these models we can see here are the ones I'm going to share. So I'm going to open my terminal Well, I'm preparing the space. Give me a second. And well, I can present again. Share my full window. Okay, here. So, oh no, this was not. Let me clear. And it was on here. CD, well, no code, TFJS, Tensorflow.js examples. This is another repo. Sorry, I got confused. But yeah, this is another repo. We can find it same if we go back to the previous repo, um, which is TensorFlow models, github.com, TensorFlow models and stuff, and go back to the. We can do here to avoid looking for it. They just instead of models dash examples. And what's the difference between these two repos? The previous one has the models, and yeah, it had a demo application for that. But yeah, that's just the basic use case, specifically for the model. And here we have advanced examples of what we can do using that models. So I hope that makes sense. For the TensorFlow team, it makes sense. But here, actually, the yeah, I was going to share an example, but I'm looking for it of transfer learning. Yeah, webcam transfer learning here. So they have lots of examples here. I will node and what I love is that they're really well documented. So you can come here, open whatever file folder you may look, and it will be an explanation about what does that do. So not only an explanation of what does it do, but how to implement it, how to run it, and that's amazing, right? So TensorFlow example addition R and A in web worker because we want this for the web. Uh, what else? Baseball node. So TensorFlow example, training a baseball node in Node.js. This demo demonstrates how to train server-side models to classify baseball pitch types using Node.js. Uh, so really, really great repos. Data from a CSV, data generator if you miss data, data conversion attention. If you want to do it for Electron, that's really cool. So deploying the TensorFlow model in Electron-based desktop apps. For those one who don't know Electron, Electron is a framework to make JavaScript applications to desktop apps, right? For example, if I'm not wrong, VS Studio Code it's made with Electron. What else? Well, polynomial regression, sentiment analysis. This one's cool. This demo shows how to perform text sentiment analysis on text using the layers of the API of TensorFlow.js. It demonstrates the loading and predetermined model host on a URL. But why I'm showing this? Well, the reason why I'm showing you these kinds of example, and let's open this, for example, but not on on web, but in Visual Studio, where we were seeing the sentiment analysis. It's because even that I told you this is a very simple way to implement machine learning models on web. The real truth, it's this is not that simple, and I'm afraid to tell that because I don't want to take you down. But take a look at this code. To be honest, it's kind of complicated. Well, first we import Tensorflow.js. That's pretty standard, right? We import a loader for a file called loader, and we start doing some configuration. We import the model from the storage Google APIs, TF models, and the sentiment um, CNN version 1 model. Some local URLs that it's the resources, sentiment prediction starts making some calls to the load hoster pre-trained model. We await for the result and the load data, and then we start predicting. Right. So in the full picture, it's kind of not that complicated. The specifics are the ones that it's complicated because seriously, first we import a loader. So what does the loader do? Well, it imports TensorFlow again, imports UI from the UI, so then we can go to another file. What's the UI? Okay. Uh, Examples, what could be positive or what could be a negative text. Die-hard Mario fan, and I love this game. Brr, brr. The mother in this movie is reckless in with her child to the point neglected. Okay, we have examples of what could be a positive and a negative. We got it. For doing this sentiment analysis, the the folder contains lots of files, lots of other packages, lots of information. So this is a very complete example, but it is not something that it's easy to implement. And we're looking for easiness, right? Because we're on a hackathon, for example. If you're not on a hackathon and you want to make it right, again, uh, take a step back even and go to the resources I mentioned on the TensorFlow page and start reading some textbooks and start taking some courses and prepare yourself because this is the truth about machine learning world. You need a lot of knowledge. You need a lot of mathematical background, etc. But again, we are in a rush and we want to develop some cool and powerful apps. That's why I wanted to go to this transfer learning to take a look of the differences of doing it in TensorFlow and doing it in ML5, that it's again top on layer of TensorFlow library. So let's get a look here. Again, we import TensorFlow.js and the TensorFlow.js data controller file. Don't take a look at this. We set a global variable of the number of classes we want to predict. In this case, is 4, etc. We create a variable for the webcam, etc. And we load the truncated mobile net, right? This is not the important part. Well, whole code is very good documented, but I want to take you to the part of transfer. And the transfer, it's made on hmm, Actually, I don't see the part of we're going to make transfer. Let me tran. Oh, here, neutrally. Okay, if the UI is predicted, make a prediction through our newly trained model, truncate model, get image, returns the index with the maximum probability. Okay, no. Um, train status here, model that fit. So, blah blah blah. We get to the train. Yeah, this was what I was looking. Set up the train classifier. We need to train our model, but first we need to give some examples on how to train this, right? So if the controllers it's null, we have no data to train the model, so we throw an error. After that, we create a TensorFlow SQL, which is a two-layer full connect model, and save it to the model, right? We train and we store it in an optimizer. We complete the model passing these optimizers with a specific type of loss, and we set a batch size, which is the number of information we're passing this to train, right? Then we make this model fit the data we just added. Again, for the webcam project, is using the webcam data. But again, take a look. 200 lines of code, including some comments. And for this other example, in which we're doing the same, we only need 175, 25 lines less, again, with lots of comments. But we're doing almost the same. I mean, the result is the same. We take the ML5 library, which is built on it's built on top of TensorFlow again. But the main advantage of this, it's we don't have to process anything related to tensors. Here we only need to take action on the data we're passing to this class, and using only the methods of this, we can create the same predictions. So let's take a look again to this previous one. We're using TensorFlow. TensorFlow, it's based on tensors. That's what it's called that way. We know that tensors are multidimensional arrays, and sometimes they are not easy to understand, and sometimes it's better to work for implementation with just methods. So, same here. We set up our function, we create video. In the other project, it was called webcam. We get the video. This is a function that sets the camera. We just get the camera element from the DOM. That's why we have this index file here. And we append it to some variables here, the capture one, the video element, etc., and we return that video element. So for this ML model, we used a function that, well, a method that is called parsnip, which is the model I was talking about, that it's already trained with thousands of thousands of images, and we pass the video information to this, and the model that, well, here we pass the function that just says like, okay, model is ready to use. And for every pause or frame in the video, we can use that to train our model, right? Or pre-trained model. And till this point, we do the same here that I was talking about this tensor layer. We need to flatten, we need to dense, we need to set information about the batch, the training epochs, and all complicated stuff, but just in a simple function, And we can even uh, write it in a more familiar way, like, hey, draw this, or tell me that the model is ready, or when I hit the cursor, I want to add an example, right? Just one example. And then we can go to the classify part and compare this function. Classification, it's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 9 lines of code. And the classification here, or the prediction one, takes a UI that it's pending while it's prediction. And again, takes a lot of more, not only mental energy to comprehend this, but a lot of previous work to even know what's happening here, right? Uh, Even here, it's well explained. I mean, why I'm saying this? I don't want you to say, okay, I don't need to learn this. I will just use ML5. What I say is you can use ML5 to make it quick, to make it easier, and to develop powerful things that you don't really fully comprehend, but that you have an idea on how they work. But the next step to that is use TensorFlow, just TensorFlow, and understand tensors and understand um, what these predictions can do, right? So we're over that. We can close these complicated examples and then pass to the easy and nice explanation. Um, that's it. So let's open the ML5 page and take a look of the information about how we can use the ML5 model, what it's postnet, what actually this function expects, and what does this returns, and everything, right? So let me see first if we don't have any questions this far. Uh, Oh my god, I think I wasn't sharing screen. We only see you. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. You're not sharing screen. Thanks. No problem. If you're having problems with TensorFlow code, chatbots many times can help you debug. Okay. I'm so sorry. I didn't was sharing my screen, so I'm going to open here again. So let me, yeah, you can see my screen now. Wow. Let me open the repo I was saying, TF, yeah, yes, examples, and just open the file we were working on, right? Well, another file I was, well, not file, but example I was talking about, it's this one of the sentiment analysis. And again, take a look at all these files, to all the things you need to do a sentiment analysis. That's huge. That's just not so beginner friendly. Um, it is beginner friendly, I mean, for those who start learning about machine learning and the use of tensors. And this code, it's very well explained again, but not for us, not for the people who are just starting that doesn't have an idea of what it's doing. Um, okay, then go back to this, and we were talking about how many lines of code to do a webcam transfer learning application in which we can take images from the webcam and then uh, train the model based on the new information and then make predictions compared to this one here that is from ML5. Uh, but yeah, I already explained that. I just want to see the code because I was not sure. I want you to see the code. Sorry. And if you can see, this code it's big, but it is not big for the use of tensors of anything. It's big because we're using like here document listeners and query functions and everything. And in this other example, this is living on another file called UI. So the same here. For example, this one are 122 lines of code, including comments, plus the other 200 of this code. That's more than 300 lines of code. And in comparison, here we only have 175. That's half of the code, half of the lines of code we need to take a function that, well, a model, an application that does the same, and that's it. I made my point. That's what I meant. So again, we can close the TensorFlow purely and go here to the ML5 code, and let's open ML5. How we cannot see, the screen is lagging. Okay. Okay, this is interesting. Hey, I'm an organizer from the TensorFlow user group. That's really cool. Thanks for being here. I hope you're liking the stream. I'm sorry for the lagging that I see here. But don't worry, I share with you the link to the repo that is here. And I was talking about the sentiment analysis example and the webcam transfer learning example. You can take a look to the code there. And the one I'm talking about right now, about the ML5, we're going to open that, and in some minutes, I will share the code. So I'm really, really sorry about the stream quality. I don't know what's happening. I swear, I wow, this is yeah, Intro supposed to be working right, and StreamYard does not says any notification or something about a poor connection. But yeah, so weird. But now let's go to the ML5, right? So we can discover, explore the ecosystem, blah blah blah, and I want here to get to. Uh, yeah, I think it was the Explore ecosystem. We can close these about transfer learning, introduction, optimize, implement, explore, instructive. Okay, yeah, we need to get it to the docs. Hmm. So we have guide for beginners. Uh, this is very friendly, and no, yeah, this is not what I was looking for. But don't worry, we can just Google it. ML5 TensorFlow, and here's the page. Let me just copy this link and share it with you. Here's on the comments. This is the page, and friendly machine learning for the web. That's what we were looking for. But then you can say, Alberto, then what do you call this stream TensorFlow.js? Well, remember, this is built on top of TensorFlow.js. Here, ML5 it's an open source, friendly, high-level interface to TensorFlow.js. So we are just interfacing with TensorFlow. Even if you open here the repo and see the docs and everything, you will see underneath ML5 just uses TensorFlow for everything. So um, you can call it whatever you want. This is TensorFlow, but in a more friendly for beginners way. Uh, and yeah, we can see here that it's focused. Well, it is used for Google researchers and Netlify browsers tag link for open source art. And this is interesting about the arts. Because I think the ML5 project started more to make it accessible, like the um, artificial intelligence stuff for not that tech people, but even the do tech people realize that ML5, sorry, artificial intelligence can be threatening, can be overwhelming, and having a good and friendly way to starting it, it's really just game changer, right? So we are going to hit getting started with ML5, and we can see the docs. And the thing we are going to use for now is this part right here, the key and classifier. What does mean that? Key nearest neighbor classifier, and for nearest neighbor for sorry, and again for neighbor, and the key it's the number we can. Well, it's up to us. Like how many. This optimally it's odd name, odd number. Sorry, for how many nearest neighbors we want in order to classify something. So let's say, for example, we have two groups, A and B, and in a two-dimensional space, we have locations of where these A and B groups are. So depending on how many literal, I mean, nearest neighbors, the point we're setting, uh, it's located. It's the prediction of which group this new member or new point belongs to. So that's how the key and classifier works. So we're going to take advantage of this classifier to create our project of today's session, right? So the code, uh, It's based on this example right here that I am going to share. Just give me a second. And the repo, it's this one. GitHub ML5JS, ML5 library, three main examples lab. So I'm going to share with you the full library. So here it is the link. I see a question. Have you used this for building websites if you do web development? To be honest, for product like for my job for production, I haven't. But it's not the scope of my job. But for fun, like, hey, I'm going to do this an app that classifies. Actually, I do that. That classifies types of plants. Uh, I created that. The hard thing on that was to find a data set that it's useful to train your model, and sometimes it's limit to plants that are not regionally available. For example, here in Mexico, we have uh, uh, helechos. I don't know what's the name for that in English. I have, for example, a tree of chili, jalapenos, a tree for what's the other? Anule. But again, that's some regional. But the data set I found it was focused for biodiversity that was not available here in Mexico. So the thing is, not for fun, for work or building projects. No, I haven't, to be honest. Um, but again, that's not the scope of my job. I don't do things related to machine learning or artificial intelligence. But if I had to, I definitely will use TensorFlow. So here's the library, here's what I shared, and I can close this because here is the code. I'm going to create a live demo of this, and I'm going to teach you how this works. So first we need to allow access to my camera, and I am going to allow this. So you can see here the demo tells the key and end classification on postnet data from the webcam. It's the thing we're developing here, right? So as I mentioned, postnet it's big data set. We can explore more about it here. It's the model that contains that it's pre-trained with the big data set. Oh no, this was that what I was looking for. Well, here it's the model that it's pre-trained with lots of data and can help us to recognize poses in here, right? So what do I mean with a pose? Well, for example, this is a pose, right? So this is the batch A. Let's add it as an example. I'm making this a pose, and let's making this the batch B. So with these two examples, I could train this and hope to see what the confidence of A and B groups are. But I'm going to be give more information. I can start getting some clicks here, 10 maybe, right? And here 10 maybe, right? So I can start predicting, and according to this, and more in a B, just for the position of my head. But what about if I raise this hand? If I unraised it, position B, it's clear. But here, I had my hand. It's this is not mirror, so that's why this is hard. So left hand for me, it's A, and here right hand for me, it's B. Right. So this is already nice. This is the protein model. We added more info about our own using my webcam, but now I want this to recognize this moment, right? Could we do it with this postnet model? Well, the thing is, this postnet model, it's trained to differentiate between human postures, not AutoCAD postures. So we probably will need another model. Okay, let's look for that model on the ML5 web page. Let me see. Yeah, we have number comments. KNN classifier. We can take a look to this other example and see if they use a model that could help us. Oh, it could be in the sketch. Feature extractor. No, maybe not what we're looking for. Postnet image classifier. So you can use this neural network to recognize this content from the ML5 image classifier method. It's a method that creates an object that classifies an image using the pre-trained model. How we do this? Well, we need to modify a little bit our code, but we can use this same example that they had on their repo. So image classification with video. And look for this sketch.js. Take a look at the code and see that they have a classifier, they have a video results. Um, in the setup, no Canva, we create the camera output, we take the image classifier, and the first parameter, it's the model, then the video, then options, then the callback. So the model it's required, and the ones available are MobileNet, DarkNet, and DarkNet TNT, DualNet, or any image classification model in teachable machines. So we can copy this. Okay, let's create another folder called postnet. Take this here and take this here, and then no, then another folder called image, new file called index.html, new file called sketch.js, and this one copy here, then go to the HTML, copy this one, and open it here. We can close then the port, and in the new index, open this one again. Oh, I'm sorry. I think yeah, I need to change this something where we get the ML5. So oh, just this one. It waits to reload. Allow. It's loading model and video. Let's give it a second. What does this say? It's safety pin. When I put this here and I retire myself from the camera, what could this be? I want to take a look here. Lots of dragonfly information, but let's see if I can change this to the camera of my phone and get a better image uh, of the Mona. Let's open this again. Change the camera output, allowing, and here, hair set, mask, a lot of probability. What if we turn this the other way? Not hair size. This is weird. Bold tie, bolo, bold tie. What could this could be? Notebook, computer. You know, we're using really fast in really not complicated code. Machine learning model that gets image predictions. You know, so that's it. That's how we can implement really fast these kind of codes. So let me remove this. Hope you're going to share the code for me. It's constantly freezing. Yeah, it's here actually. The one we were looking at, it's the one called um, KNN means. Let me see. Well, this last one, it's the image classification, and the other one, it's a classification one, and that's for the post model actually. Um, but yeah, let's resume this because I think we reach our end. If I had to make web development here that Sweden 73 told us about building for not for fun but for work projects, I will use TensorFlow. For fun, I will use ML5 because it's more intuitive, it's less code, it's fast, really and actually fast, and you're using um, pre-trained machine learning models. I will definitely use it for my next hackathon. And if I want to use TensorFlow, which I really encourage you, well, you're using TensorFlow with ML5, but you know what I mean, right? I get my point right. If you want to use it, you want to code it, you want to actually write, and do transfer learning, or even create your own models, you need a lot of background. a lot of information, and you need to prepare yourself. And the best way to do it, at least what I think, it is a great resource library. It's the one that it's offered on TensorFlow. Then you can start doing it in Python. Then you can start actually training machine learning models that you created. Uh, and well, for that it's true that you might need some data. Uh, and well, what I mean here, it's a long path. It's a big journey of learning, but it's definitely working, because if you can do this image classification, if you can do this post recognition, if you can do this Q&A, passing some context, if you can do this sentiment analysis with just some minutes that we took, with just some basic knowledge of how to code on JavaScript, well, imagine what you can do when you actually understand the capabilities on how machine learning works, how artificial intelligence is it's based, like the fundamentals, the neural networks, what the training epochs are. Well, that's amazing. And why? What do I recommend to you? Watch Stephen streams. They are so good on how to understand these basic things. Start exploring yourself. Build something. Broke the code. I passed to you some amazing repos on machine learning on web. If you're not a web developer, if you're a Python developer or something not related with JavaScript, there are lots of resources. Actually, for doing artificial intelligence, I think the most strong language right now it's Python. So you probably need to start learning Python too. But for those one who comes from web like me, don't stop there. You can do it in JavaScript if you want. If you want, it's not necessary. But yeah, so that's it for me. If you have any question, please let me know here. I will try to answer it. And again, so sorry for the stream inconvenience on, well, the freezing, the constantly freezing window. I don't know why was that. But yeah, you can always reach out to me. My handle is Alberto47 in every social media. So I see no comments here on the chat. So that will be it. I hope to see you tomorrow, because this one was for and starting or part in TensorFlow. We see the potential, we see some great examples, and tomorrow we are going to take that in Firebase, which is actually uh, production and a working environment. So if you want to join me tomorrow, I will be amazed to see you here again. Tomorrow will be 9 p.m. ET time, 8 p.m. for me in Mexico City time. And I don't know what time will be for you, but I really hope you can join me to this taking machine learning model from TensorFlow.js and deploying it in production using Firebase ML. This is a really new service, and I am really excited to share it with the Global Hack Week community. So, thank you for being here, and I see you. Bye bye.